Hello, my name is Christian, and today I'm going to read the story, and I'm going to go over the blocks and things. So first, let's just start with blocks. First, there's Adam and Eve with the apple, and there's Noah with the rainbow. Then there's Abraham with the ton of stars. Then there's Hagar with a well. Then there's Jacob, Rachel, and Leah. And there's Jacob with the coat of, not Jacob, Joseph with the coat of many colors, Moses and the burning bush, and then there's the walls of Jericho with Jeremiah. Joshua. There's so many J's.
There is.
And then there's King Saul and King David, and there's too many S's too. Solomon.
Temple.
In the temple, and then there's Elijah, and then there's
Another J.
Joshua.
Close. Jeremiah.
And then there's too many D's.
There's only one D.
No, there's King David.
Oh, you're right.
There's two is too many.
Daniel.
Daniel and the lions and Jonah and the whale and
There's only one Z.
Zerubbabel.
Yeah. Zerubbabel.
Yeah, that one.
All right.
And then today is the 17th, and it is an angel. And also, I noticed something. There's letters on the back.
Yeah.
I wonder what those are for.
You'll find out in Christmas.
Yeah. So, yeah. Now, let us begin.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I have to that. Sorry.
You are so clumsy.
Okay, now let us begin the readings. Okay. God is coming to earth to say, okay. So, the story of Elizabeth and Zechariah. Zechariah. I had to take a while to pronounce that right. Years passed. Zerubbabel passed away. God's prophets, Elijah, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Daniel, Jonah, passed away, guys. That's sad, but you gotta go back cute. And years passed, people began to wonder, has God's promise passed away too? Did God really mean it when he said he would come back? Where is he? The year has passed slowly and still. God seemed far away. There was no word, no prophet, and the temple began to crumble. Guys, the temple was crumbling, which the temple was built by Solomon, and we read about that. So it's kind of sad because now the temple's destroyed. And also, the story, the theory of I learned this in school. Then I tell you this, it's really cool. Oh, you know how this is about Islam and Jewish things. You know how in the Bible, for some reason, it says that for Jesus to come back, they have to have the temple built, right? The thing is, some theologians say that for the temple to be built, they had to have the Islam temple thingy to be destroyed.
Interesting.
I read that.
Interesting. Keep reading.
It's cool. But that's something I just learned at school. And then years passed slowly. God seemed far away. There was no word, no prophets, and the temple began to crumble again. But they were getting ready, and he wanted his people to get ready too. So after 400 years of silence, God decided to send one last prophet. I had to make that dramatic.
It's okay.
Where do you think this prophet comes from? From the sky? No. From under the ground? No, of course not. What you thought I'd come from under the ground? Really? Really? Okay, whatever. Dad, you thought they come from all the gods?
No.
Okay. Of course, where do prophets come from? They come from the same place as you. From your mommies and daddies. So if God was to send his special prophet, he's going to need a mommy and daddy. And he just had a couple in mind. The names were Elizabeth and Zechariah. Sorry about that. I might be a little sick. I do have a red nose, but dang it, I want to sing that song now.
Stop getting distracted.
Elizabeth and Zachariah listened to God, which was rare in those days. But they were sad because they were getting older and they had no children. And the last people anyway had.
You're going to have to read that sentence over.
They're the last people anyone would had picked to have a baby. But isn't that how God it? But that's how God. But that's how it is with God, isn't it? You know, he doesn't pick the people we exactly expect. Like Abraham. He was like 100 something about. He was around 100 years old. So was his wife. And they had a child. Do you know how rare that would be? Like, today, that would be a medical mystery.
Yes.
They wouldn't understand it.
Keep reading. You're doing good.
God doesn't show up the way we expect either. One day, God showed up in a special day. Zechariah was working in the temple, minding his own business, when suddenly the room filled with dazzling light. Zachariah strained his eyes and look at the light. He could just make it a figure. It looked like a bit like a person, but it was way too far bright to be any person he knew. And the figure spoke, "Hello, Zechariah." Zechariah. And the figure spoke, "Hello, Zechariah." And he realized it was far too loud to be any person he knew too. Then it hit him. This is an angel. Don't be Zachariah had never seen an angel before. He was afraid. Then the angel said, "Don't be afraid. God is coming to stay. And your baby boy will prepare the way. That's right. Your wife will get pregnant today." Zachariah couldn't believe it. God was coming to stay. His wife Elizabeth was going to have a baby. This was too good to be true. But it wasn't too good to be true. It was good and it was true. You see, God was with Elizabeth even when she was younger and wanted children. Even when she gave up on her dreams of being a mommy. Even when she wondered if God would ever hear her, God was with her. Zechariah hurried home. Zechariah hurried home and hurried to home to give Elizabeth the news. This good news. Later that night, he scribbled everything down on a tablet and showed it to Elizabeth. Did I say Elizabeth?
Elizabeth.
I know. I thought I pronounced it right. After she read it, she sang a new version of a very old song. For such a long time, God seems far away. But now, he has heard what we hoped and prayed. God is coming to earth to stay. Stay.
Very good. Want to show on the last page? All right. Very good.
Look, that's it.
That's it. All right. Love you. Bye.
Adios.